Actress Demi Moore: I do not want Trump supporters for fans. First of all, I hate Trump, this awful country with disgusting people and everything about it. I'll boycott everything about Trump. Do you support her? While once upon a time stars were advised not to ruffle feathers by expressing political views, or other topics deemed controversial, for fear of hurting their brand, that time has passed. Things have escalated to, don't like me or what I'm saying. Don't be my fan. Don't watch my show. Don't go see my movie. May we point you in the direction of Ellen Pompeo's feed. The Grey's Anatomy star didn't pull any punches when she tweeted to her 1.3 million fans, newsflash: I don't want Trump supporters for fans. Einstein. After a difficult childhood marred by cases of alcoholism and suicide in the family, Demi Moore left behind her life in a New Mexico trailer park in pursuit of the bright lights of Tinseltown. 3 decades and 3 husbands later, Moore's name is known the world over, but her face is rarely seen anymore. So what happened? She became a teen icon in the 80s, and by the 90s was the most sought-after woman in Hollywood, though a series of unfortunate career moves and personal dramas in the years that followed sent her into a downward spiral. Here's why we don't hear from her anymore. Moore has had a feisty relationship with the press right from the get-go. The actress has battled with the media over her public image on countless occasions over the course of her career, even during her early, more successful years. The stunning young starlet first came to the attention of audiences as a member of the so-called Brat Pack, starring in 80s coming-of-age classics like St. Elmo's Fire and About Last Night, though she always hated being labeled as a brat. I find it embarrassing, hateful and demeaning, the actress complained at the time. The man who wrote that seems jealous because we are young and talented, so he filled the article with lies. He implied we all hate each other. Unlike her Brat Pack buddies, Moore's career continued to go from strength to strength as the 90s rolled around, becoming one of the biggest stars in the world with her performance opposite the clay pot molding spirit of Patrick Swayze in Ghost. The supernatural romance was a surprise box office smash, raking in over $500 million worldwide and going on to become the highest-grossing film of 1990. Things took a turn for the worse at the midpoint of the decade, however. The Scarlet Letter, 1995, barely managed to claw back a fifth of its budget. Razzie favorite striptease became Hollywood slang for box office bomb after a horrible performance in 1996, and G.I. Jane, for which Moore shaved her head, was a resounding disappointment domestically. Things only got worse as the years ticked on, with 2010's The Joneses representing rock bottom for the former star as far as theater receipts go. The film only managed an embarrassing $1,355 per screen average in its second weekend. It might seem hard to believe now, but at one point Moore was Hollywood's highest paid female. After the success of Ghost, the raven-haired actress negotiated an eye-watering $12.5 million paycheck for striptease, a sum that, according to the U.S. inflation calculator, would be in the region of $19.5 million today, and when the film flopped hard, the general consensus was that Moore was not worth the money. She didn't see it that way, however, and neither did Ridley Scott, who signed off on an $11 million pay packet so she would star in 1997's G.I. Jane. That would be the last 8-figure sum she would receive, as studios became wise to her salary demands. One Disney senior executive seemed to realize her bubble had burst even before G.I. Jane hit cinemas. "We don't know what to do," he told Newsweek magazine, via telegraph. "People just don't want to see her. We would have to drag them kicking and screaming to see this movie." It wasn't long before Moore's A-list status went to her head and she started to gain a reputation as an unbearable diva behind the scenes. The media started calling her Gimme Moore, highlighting the crazy and often ridiculous requests the actress was said to have been making of movie studios. She once asked for a private plane to transport her from her secluded Idaho home to New York City and then reportedly demanded that Sony swap it for a larger one so that she didn't have to stack her luggage. "I'm sure people thought I was a BH," The actress admitted when quizzed about an on-set tantrum over a production assistant, "But all I did was strive for perfection." The quickest route to power for an actress in Hollywood is to hook yourself up to someone who can put you in a good position, and make yourself a sex object. This was Moore speaking to U.S. Magazine, via Google Books, as a young woman, but while that approach might have worked at the time, you can only be a sex symbol for so long. The older she got, the more desperately she tried to hang on to her good looks, reportedly turning to plastic surgeons for help. Various tabloid reports claimed the aging actress spent as much as $400,000 on a full-body makeover that included collagen injections in her lips, porcelain caps on her teeth and liposuction on her stomach, thighs, and bottom. When asked about the sudden differences in her appearance, Moore flat-out denied she had ever gone under the knife, telling reporters in Paris, via DailyMail, that she didn't like the idea of having an operation to hold up the aging process. "The scalpel won't make you happy." This was at odds with experts consulted by Radar Online, who concluded that Moore had undergone extensive surgery on her face alone. After allegedly spending a small fortune on changing her appearance only to be told she still was no longer suitable for the strong, sexy roles she used to get, Moore spoke out against ageism in Hollywood, blaming it for her relegation from the A-list. When she hit 44, she opened up about how difficult it was to be a middle-aged woman in the film industry. "It's been a challenging few years, being the age I am. Almost to the point where I felt like, well, they don't know what to do with me. I am not 20. Not 30. There aren't that many good roles for women over 40. A lot of them don't have much substance, other than being someone's mother or wife." Moore's fading reputation took another bashing in 2009 when she was named and shamed by animal activist group PETA for the excessive amount of animal fur in her wardrobe. After a poll on their website named the actress the year's worst dressed celeb in Tinseltown, PETA told Access Hollywood, "She may be a cougar, but that's not helping fur-loving Demi Moore in the eyes of animal lovers." Moore's then-husband Ashton Kutcher came in a close second in the vote, with the Butterfly Effect star also coming under heavy criticism from the organization after he was spotted skulking around Sundance last month wearing a gigantic coat made of coyote fur. Moore has struggled to keep it together since her 6-year marriage to Ashton Kutcher came crashing down amid allegations that her much younger, 15 years, to be exact, husband had been cheating on her with women closer to his own age. The final straw came when 22-year-old part-time model Sarah Leal spilled the beans about sleeping with Kutcher on his and Moore's wedding anniversary, ouch, prompting the actress to release a statement confirming their split. "As a woman, a mother, and a wife, there are certain values and vows that I hold sacred, and it is in this spirit that I have chosen to move forward with my life." Moving forward has proven difficult for her, however, and family troubles have only added to Moore's isolation in recent years. The actress relied heavily on the 3 daughters she had with Bruce Willis in the aftermath of her very public separation from Kutcher, though she was said to have been contacting them so regularly, and often in tears, that they reportedly considered taking out a restraining order against her. Rumor: Scout and Tallulah are seriously considering taking out a restraining order against Demi to stop her from contacting them, an insider told Radar Online. They made it clear to her weeks ago that they do not want to talk to her right now, but she is still trying to contact them. Demi has been calling them incessantly and emailing them, leaving them tearful messages and begging them to call her, and the girls are sick of it. Moore's first stint in rehab for drug and alcohol addiction came way back in 1996 when St. Elmo's fire director Joel Schumacher threatened to fire her from the teen movie if she didn't get totally clean before the shoot began. She managed to get sober in time and the movie made her a star in the making, but unfortunately for the actress it wouldn't be her last experience with substance abuse. Her excessive drug taking supposedly drove a gap between her and Kutcher, with one source close to the couple revealing that it was a sticking point for Ashton. He wanted her to take care of herself and get a hold of things, and she wouldn't. Things only worsened when Kutcher was off the scene, and in 2012 she was rushed to hospital after she reportedly suffered a seizure when high on whippet, laughing gas, and prescription pills. Moore's drug problems lead to a period of dramatic weight loss, and before long the fading star had been diagnosed with anorexia according to sources inside her camp. She collapsed after having an epileptic seizure, a friend of the underweight actress exclusively revealed to Radar Online. Demi is getting treated for anorexia as well as other issues that caused her seizure. She has not taken care of her health at all lately and has lost a ton of weight. In the months leading up to her hospitalization, DailyMail described her as shockingly skinny and raised concerns about her weight, which they claimed had dangerously dropped below 100 pounds. Moore was briefly back in the headlines in 2015, though for all the wrong reasons. In July of that year, a 21-year-old man named Ednelson Stephen Valle attended a party at Moore's Beverly Hills home and drowned after falling into her 10-foot-deep swimming pool while drunk. The actress was away visiting family at the time of the accident. She released a statement that said she was in absolute shock when she heard the news, though the fact that a wild party had led to a death on her premises only reinforced studio fears that she was a liability. Valle's family recently launched a lawsuit for unspecified damages against party hosts Bessie Wong and Lenny Hernandez for serving alcohol at a party which was unsafe to host. Kutcher never mentioned it after they split, but while still married to Moore he admitted that her obsessive hobby totally freaked him out. Moore is an avid collector of dolls and according to reports has between 2,000 and 3,000 in her bizarre hoard, enough to warrant their very own house. The former punk presenter told Conan O'Brien, via Telegraph, that he was pretty sure the dolls had souls. "They're always looking at you. We have some in the bedroom and that makes things just weird." Daily Star reported that the collection, which is reportedly insured for close to $2 million, used to give Kutcher nightmares and that he wanted his wife at the time to open up a museum so he could get them out of their home. To say Moore's heyday is behind her is something of a drastic understatement. While her record with the critics has always been spotty, she still managed to win favor on a semi-regular basis back in the late 80s and early 90s, with films like Ghost, 1990, and A Few Good Men, 1992, earning certified fresh status on Rotten Tomatoes, and No Small Affair, 1984, About Last Night and One Crazy Summer, both 1986, scoring respectable percentages on the tomato meter the previous decade. Scroll up her profile page to her recent projects, however, and the love she used to receive on occasion is nowhere to be seen. In fact, of the last 10 feature films scored by the website's network of knowledgeable critics, 8 ended up with scores of 55% or less, a record that isn't exactly attractive to studios. Does that mean a comeback for Moore is impossible? According to a Radar Online exclusive, Demi Moore returning to Hollywood isn't only possible, it is totally on the cards for 2017. A source close to the star revealed she is running low on money and has decided to take her recent casting in hit Fox show Empire. She will play a take-charge nurse with a mysterious past according to Deadline, and turn it into a full-blown comeback. Demi is trying really hard to get back into the world of TV and movies right now, Radar's source said. Aside from her new role on Empire next season, she is reading a lot of other scripts and is weighing her options. She knows that she needs to get back into the game to survive and has rehired her team of managers and agents to help her with another big break. Looks like we haven't seen the last of Demi Moore quite yet. Source, NickusWift.com